Hi everyone, my name's Susie and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a kaleidocycle or flexagon, and that's this thing here. It's called a kaleidocycle because if you see the way it moves, it might remind you a little bit of a kaleidoscope. They're quite fiddly to make, but they're quite fun too, and you can take your time with it. It lets you be creative, you can create different patterns, and it gives you a nice little toy to fiddle with at the end as well. So if you'd like to make one of these, then keep watching. Okay, so to make this flextangle or kaleidocycle, you'll need a pencil for drawing out your design, scissors for cutting out your design, felt tips or pencil crayons or both to decorate. I'll probably use both. You'll need some glue to stick it all together and possibly a bit of sellotape at the end to secure it. That's all the equipment you need, and you obviously need a template. You can, if you're feeling very brave, draw out your own one. I'm not going to do that because that looks hard. But if you haven't got our resource packs, you can type in flextangle template and this should come up and you can print that off at home. Or if you do have our resource packs, you should find this in there. Okay, that's everything you need. Okay, when you're looking at your flextangle template, it's really important to think about it as a series of diamonds. And we have our top row of diamonds across here. We've got half a diamond here, and we've got this one, this one, this one. That's all one line, and that line of diamonds is all going to have the same design. Similarly, where you've got B, this row of diamonds is all going to have the same design. I'm going to start by thinking of a design for one of my A diamonds. I'm quite a big fan of natural shapes, things from the natural world, leaves, eyes, that kind of thing. So I'm going to start with a kind of almost like an eye shape in the middle. And I'm just going to take that circle, just going to do circles further and further out. It's turning into more like a target here. I'm also a big fan of rainbows, so I might colour that in rainbow colours. And then I'm going to do exactly the same in this triangle, in this diamond shape. It's a really good idea to try and use the dotted lines as a guide, a rough guide for where you should draw things. Mine's not that precise, but it's given me a rough guide. Then at the ends, I've got to kind of imagine that this is a mirror line. So here, I'm going to draw half that shape, and then I'm going to draw the other half in this A triangle here. So I've got my centre circle, and I've got my one just outside of that, and the other one, and then my final bigger circle here. And then I'm going to do the opposite on the other side, which is harder actually because I don't have the little dotted lines. I'm just going to have to. You can be more precise. You could get a ruler and just trace it across to make sure that you've done it in the right place, but that looks more or less even. I'm happy with that. Okay, I'm going to be very Blue Peter here and bring in one that I've already started. So Here's one that I made earlier, or started earlier. As you can see, I've chosen really bold colours because I want mine to be really bright. But you can choose more pastel colours, you can choose a colour scheme, or you can do random colours. What I've tried to do a little bit of is lead from one diamond, so my A's, into my B's, and I've tried to lead my B's into my C's. Now you don't have to do that, you can do completely isolated designs, they don't have to join up, but I'm just suspecting that perhaps when I come to use my flextangle, that might look quite cool. But I've never made one of these before, so I don't know yet. It's a bit of experimentation, so we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to make the background of all my bees the same orange. I'm using pencil crayon for the background because the brightness of the felt tip should stand out a bit more. Just a little bit of something to get lost in. Colourings are not something you really get to do a lot of as an adult, unless you really make time for it. It's a great activity for practising mindfulness, just forgetting what's going on in the world around you and just having control over something and making something beautiful, hopefully. It just makes you stop, pay attention to those little details that we sometimes miss in our busy lives, and it just brings a bit of colour to those rainy days. I'm quite a chaotic person in some ways, so I have chosen a real mixed bag of colours, but if you're somebody who likes a bit more control, a bit more order, you could either make it a kind of monochrome one, or maybe have a very limited palette of colours. That might be quite cool. I always end up erring on the side of busy though. I'm the kind of person that will choose the most elaborate sort of chocolate, even though I probably enjoy just the dairy milk the best. Looking a bit like a spider now. Ended up creating a kind of creepy crawly one with my flies and spiders. Good for Halloween. Paying close attention to my middle design to make sure it's as close to that as possible. And I'll just finish up with my orange and then think about a nice colour I can do as the alternate colour. made a little mistake there because I was going to do this different colours. But that's okay. Just kind of run with it then. No big deal. Okay, now it's time to cut around the edges. Okay, when you get to these tabs, make sure you don't cut those off, they've got to stay on as well. Same with these bits at the top, and leave those on. Okay, so now what you need to do is quite a bit of folding. You might want to score it first if you're using a piece of card, or if you're just using paper, probably fine to just fold it. So for this bit, you can see you've got dotted lines down here. So we're going to fold face to face, so the design will be face to face along the dotted lines. And then I'm going to fold the diagonal lines, so every diagonal line, but this time I'm going to turn it over and do it back to back. So okay, now you've done your folding, we should be able to start gluing it together. So if we folded it the right way, so the dotted lines face to face and then the diagonal lines back to back, when we put glue on the bits where it says glue, you should find that when you come to stick, you bring that top bit down here where it says glue. It should naturally kind of sit into that place. You might need to give it a bit of a squeeze. And then do the same for the next one. Hopefully your glue is better than my glue. Okay, start to see that when we bring it together, it's creating that nice, exciting pattern. I'm going to put a bit of glue on the end tabs. I'm going to bring it round to this open bit here, and we're going to try to tuck that one inside there. One inside there. Again, just give them a little bit of a squeeze. If, like me, you're having a bit of an issue with your the end tab bits, where you've had to tuck them in, this is where, you know I said we might need that sellotape? This is where that's going to come in very handy. So I'm just going to take off a tiny, tiny bit of sellotape. And just secure that at the end. Again, if you find that any of your other bits are a little bit loose, you could always use a bit of sellotape on that as well. And here it is, the finished flextangle or Kaleidocycle. And I'm sure yours will be much better. I use paper, but next time I might use something harder. So it's cool though. Very psychedelic. Thanks so much for watching the video on how to make a flextangle. I hope you enjoy making yours. If you really are into your digital tech and apps on your phone, there's a really cool app called Mirror Lab, which allows you to take photos or ones from your gallery and turn them into kaleidoscopic images. We've had a lot of fun with that. Let us know how you get on with your kaleidoscope images and your flextangles, and we'd love to see some examples of them. Take care, bye!